Welcome to Solo Travel with Darren. This is episode number 74, I believe it is. And today I'm going to be talking about 3 useful apps to have on your phone. I'm going to be talking about Google Translate. I'm going to be talking about XE Currency Exchange. And then I'm going to be talking about WhatsApp and Instagram kind of together. The number one and most beneficial app that I have on my phone that I use for traveling is Google Translate. I know there's some other translation apps out there, but Google Translate is probably the best one that I can think of, and I've used it for years. And what's so good about it, it's not quite just a translation from you type in the English word or the foreign word and get the English translation. The best thing about it is the camera function on Google Translate. So if you go on Google Translate, you click the camera function, your camera will show up, and basically you just put that in front of the foreign word that you're trying to translate. So if you're looking at street signs or signs on stores or a menu or anything like that, you just put that on the menu and it'll translate to English. It's so convenient, and it's pretty accurate, especially nowadays. The translation is much more accurate than it used to be. So it'll tell you what the word is in English. And again, it's so helpful, especially for like menus in foreign countries, things like that, if there's no English menu. And that's another trick, by the way, or another thing to think about, by the way. If you go to restaurants with an English menu, a lot of times you're going to be paying more than you would if you go to like an authentic, restaurant in a foreign country. So again, in a perfect world, I guess you want to go to a restaurant that does not have an English menu, and then you can use Google Translate, use the camera function on the phone. And then also on Google Translate, I'm sure you probably know that you have the microphone function, and that's what a lot of people use, and that's what I think what's most commonly used for it is, you turn on the app and you press the microphone button, and then you can speak in it in English, and it'll translate it into the foreign language, and then it'll say it out loud so the person you're talking to can hear it in their language, and then you can give them your phone and then they can do the same thing. They can press the button, speak into the app, and then it'll translate out loud into English, and then you guys can have a conversation. It's a little awkward. I mean, I know people go to, lounges and bars, whatever, on dates with foreign girls, and they spend the whole day handing the phone back and forth. I'm not sure how cool that is, but that's what the microphone function of the Google Translate will help you. You can do that with that. So that's it. So you have the camera function and the microphone function. Those are the two really big reasons why you need to have Google Translate when you travel. I've been using that every time I've traveled the world, and I use it multiple times when I'm overseas. The second thing, like I mentioned, is get the app, the XE Currency Exchange app. I'm sure there's tons and tons of apps out there for currency exchange. This is just the one I'm familiar with, the one I've been using, and it's super accurate. It's called XE Currency Exchange. And what's good about it and why you need it is because when you're at dinner or you're at a restaurant or something like that, and you want to tip people, you want to know how much the tip is, how much the bill is and how much the tip is, how much 15% would be, 20% would be. And it's always easier just to use that while you're trying to calculate the bill. And then that's what I use it the most for. Obviously, if I'm looking at souvenirs or something to buy and I want to see how much it is in American dollars, I'll pull out the currency exchange app and see what it is. Because a lot of times, like if you're in Sweden, like I remember specifically in Stockholm, the Swedish, I can't remember what the currency is there, but whatever the Swedish dollar was, it was a lot less. It was weaker than the U.S. dollar. So in theory, as Americans, we were going to Stockholm and everything would be on sale in theory because our dollar was stronger. However, it wasn't, because in Sweden, they would just basically double the Swedish price, so it wouldn't be a discount. Because Stockholm and Sweden is an expensive city. And so basically you want to make sure you understand that. And again, you can use the currency exchange app to make sure that's right. Just because the currency is weaker, it doesn't matter if they're going to be doubling the price or tripling the prices. So have that currency exchange app so that you know how much it costs in American dollars. And then also you'll know that's like the app is like the official exchange rate. I guess that you would get on Forex or anything like that, but it's not. You can see how that'll be different than the currency exchanges at the airport or those stores on the streets and tourist sections of the cities. You'll see how those numbers are different. Basically, what they'll sell it for, what they'll buy it for. That's different than the real currency exchange and how much the rates are. And so, and again, you'll know at least what that is. And sometimes you can't help but, kind of be taken for a ride essentially, but at least you'll know kind of how close you are and how close you're not. Like I said, some places, when I was in Ukraine last summer in 2021, you would know that if you paid by cash, it'd be a different exchange rate, or if you paid by credit card, it'd be a different exchange rate. Not crazy difference, but again, at least with the exchange app, you'll know kind of what you're dealing with. So definitely, that's probably the second most important app that I have on my phone. I use it the most when I travel. Hopefully, it'll help you out too. The last thing I'll mention is the communication apps, and that's WhatsApp and Instagram. When I first started traveling, within the last 7 or 10 years anyway, whenever you would travel, you'd make sure that you had WhatsApp, because all the foreign girls would have WhatsApp, and whenever you met somebody, you would exchange numbers on WhatsApp. I can't remember what the upside was. I think it was that the data was free on WhatsApp, or it was all done through Wi-Fi. I can't remember exactly. But nevertheless, recently in the last couple of years, even before COVID, maybe 2019, it was still kind of 50-50. Some girls you'd meet, you'd exchange WhatsApp. The other girls would exchange Instagram. You would always do Instagram messaging. Now it's pretty much 100% Instagram messaging. So make sure you have Instagram if you don't. But when you do meet girls, you exchange Instagram, and you make sure you guys follow each other, and so you can message them so they can get the message. Because if she doesn't follow you back, it's going to be hard to get the messages. Sometimes they'll get the message, sometimes they won't get the message. So just make sure that you guys are following each other, and you can message them as a messaging app. And that's what almost, I would say, 90% of the girls these days are using Instagram as a messaging app. Definitely keep WhatsApp on your phone, just in case, but I would say I use it 10% of the time, 20% of the time when I'm traveling. It's all now Instagram. And so keep that in mind. So that's about it. I mean, those are the three main apps that I use when I travel. And that's, again, Google Translate, the XE Currency Exchange, and Instagram/WhatsApp. I use those those apps when I travel. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment. And again, if you're looking to get free or get cheap flights to fly, there's really only one way to do it, and that is, you have to figure out how much you're going to pay first before you figure out where you're going to go. I have a full breakdown on that in my free guide at solomailtravel.com/flights. I'll leave a description down below. I'll leave a link in the description, and you can get that. It's like a 4-page pamphlet on how to get cheap flights, and it's really the only legitimate way to get cheap flights. And then check that out. So again, thanks for listening, and I'll see you next Thursday. All right? Thanks. Bye.